Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for coming and checking out the video. Sorry I haven't uploaded anything in a while. As always, I've been super busy. But yeah, today I just wanted to talk about like diversification and how you can sell things a lot quicker if you list them in more than one place, basically, and how to actually drive exposure to your listings, because as you guys know, that's just going to make them sell quicker, and you'll usually get more money because, you know, usually when something sells within the first few days, you're going to be less inclined to have to do sales on it and less inclined to take low offers. So this is how to do that, because everyone always talks about like that sourcing is the hardest part and that all you need to do is source some inventory and then you're going to have all the sales in the world, and that's really not how it works. I mean, yes, of course, the more listings you have, you're going to get way more exposure, your sell-through rate's going to go up, all that kind of stuff, and you should totally work on that. But if you aren't good at making sure that every item sells, that everything isn't a one-for-one transaction, you're going to spend a lot of money on inventory that'll never sell, and maybe you'll still do some great deals here and there, but if you're not consistently selling everything, then you're gonna lose money over time. And I've done it myself with, like, when I was really focused on just eBay and electronics and stuff, I'd buy like wholesale lots of stuff and then only sell portions of it, and so that really sucked. What happens is you'll sell like the first few things, you'll get excited that you made your money back, and then you'll never actually make any profit on it. So yeah, you want to make sure that everything you get is selling. There's like a weird animal over here. I'm on like a nature reserve. But yeah. So I'm going to talk about 4 platforms you can list on aside from just eBay or Amazon or whatever, and how that can make pretty much every item you have sell. It, you know, could triple, quadruple the chance, or even more. So I'm on this weird nature preserve, and I feel like there's about to be like a gator or something because I'm in Florida. But anyways. So you should have one store that's gonna be your primary, like basically your eBay or your Amazon or your Reverb or whatever, and that should be your home, right? You don't want to list things on 2 of those. You don't have the same item on eBay or Amazon, because if it sells on one, then you'll have to cancel an order on the other, and you can get bad feedback and just screw up your reputation, and it's really not worth it. There's actually some tools, I'm not really knowledgeable on them, but I've heard that there's tools you can get that can, you know, help you list on multiple platforms, but that's something I haven't really looked into because I find that it could just cause problems if there's an error here and there. So anyways, here's the 4 platforms I think you can diversify with. So the first 2 are pretty similar, and I'm gonna go over the strategy for every one of them. And then the last one is something maybe you don't know about, maybe you do, that's like the trend right now. So yeah, so the first of the 4 additional platforms that I'm going to talk about is going to be Facebook Marketplace. If you know me outside the videos or even just some of the old videos, I think I've talked about it. I love Facebook Marketplace. Stuff sells really quick on there, and yeah, the bad part is a lot of people will message you and not come through, so you can waste some time and people will lowball you, which is really annoying. But you know, it is what it is. Just kind of make the best of it, and always try to take those lowballers and actually counter them and try to work out a deal with them. Maybe they don't want the item you have for sale that they contacted you about, but maybe there's something else they want. And so yeah, it's pretty good. You can usually actually get decent money there if you ask it, and a rational person comes and tries to buy it. I'll often sell guitars there that didn't really sell online. I'll throw them up there for a great deal, and people will come through and buy them, and it's really easy. So the best part is just how easy it is. You just take the picture, put the description, and you're listed. So that's great. Most of these are like that. They're not going to be super hard to list on, but it's just something to keep in mind for Facebook. Now, the strategy I always use for Facebook is you don't want to have a bunch of small listings. You want to have basically one listing for every high-dollar item, and then for all the low-dollar stuff, do one bulk listing. Like if you have 100 video games, don't take the time to do an individual for each one. Just do a master list of all 100, take a picture of all 100, just try to, you know, get a couple good pictures, and then that's the best way to go about it. And just make sure you keep updating the listing for which ones are sold and not sold. And as most of you probably know, you're going to be meeting people in person for the most part, but it's also really great to add that you can ship them anywhere in the world for whatever the price is, you know, buyer pays shipping. And I do that all the time, actually. I'll make somebody a PayPal invoice, or they will send me Facebook Cash, which is always good to set up your Facebook Cash. And then I can ship them, especially when I'm doing games. You know, if they're even just the other side of Florida, I'd way rather do that than try to meet up for some stupid $10 game. I'm not going to do that, obviously. So you can save some of those sales by being willing to ship. And I ship guitars on Facebook. I ship games. I'll ship VCR so it comes up right. I'll do whatever. So just always make sure you're down to ship, and then also down to meet up with people locally. I put it pretty firm in my listings, like, this is my zip code, we need to meet up at a location here, if you want to, if you're any farther away and you don't want to meet up, that's totally fine. But I'm just gonna ship it because it's not worth my time to drive an hour. So yeah, with any of these platforms where you're considering meeting up locally, just make sure to remember that it's not worth your time to drive an hour to do a $20 sale, but it might be worth your time to ship it. And it might, if it's a $200-300 item, maybe it is worth your time. And then beyond that, maybe it's just worth your time to just cover the shipping. Your time is one of your least abundant resources, as you can probably tell with me barely uploading videos. So you should utilize it to the best extent. Don't just waste it on doing little sales. So that's kind of the strategies for Facebook. And then now we're going to talk about Craigslist, which I know everyone knows about. Okay, so Craigslist is a lot like Facebook Marketplace, and you're going to use a lot of the same strategies. Do the same thing where if you have, a lot of smaller items, make one master list of all of them. And then if you have, big items, like expensive items, and make an individual listing for each one. You can even make a master list for all your big stuff if you have, like me, I always use music gear as an example. If you're selling 5 or 10 guitars, then yeah, sure, you can do one listing, but I think it does better if you do individual ones. And yeah, same thing with that. Be willing to ship, but people don't really like shipping on Craigslist, so you're mostly going to be meeting up in person. And again, make it very firm in the listing that you only want to drive so far. And you can charge a delivery fee, or you can do shipping, but people just don't want to pay PayPal on Craigslist for whatever reason. And yeah, another thing to keep in mind for Craigslist is that people are going to send the scam where they want to pay with a cashier's check and stuff like that. Don't listen to that. Either PayPal or cash. That's the only way to pay for Craigslist, or even for whatever, but just keep that in mind. Don't listen to any of the scams. It's not worth your time. Don't do that. So yeah, another thing is you should set up a Google Voice phone number for Craigslist. So you don't want anyone having your normal phone number, so just go look up Google Voice, set up an account, and that's all you need to do for that. And you can put that phone number instead of your regular one. Okay, so the marketplace number 3 that I'm going to talk about is something that I've been using a lot lately, which is really cool, and that's Mercari. And I always call this ghetto eBay because it's kind of ghetto, to be honest. The people that list on there aren't really business owners. They're mostly just people trying to get rid of crap, which is great because, it's just a DIY mentality. People aren't really as stuck up as they are on eBay and Amazon, so that's really cool. It's a lot more laid back, and stuff will sell quick on there. Basically, the way it works is you list something, and whenever you look something up on the website to buy it, you see the most recent listings first. So really, most things will sell within the first day, and if they don't sell within that first day, a lot of times they won't sell at all. The listing is still there, but it'll just kind of get buried with everybody else's. So they implemented a feature called the promote, where basically if it doesn't sell within the first few days, you can actually drop the price by 10% and it'll put it back up at the top. So always do that. And the strategy with this is going to be list everything individually. You can't really do master lists here because people are going to buy it and then it'll be shipped. It's not really a local meetup kind of thing. And so just make sure each item is listed individually. I've seen some people try to do master lists on there and it's just a mess. I actually bought something on there, a whole lot, and then they told me, oh, well, that was just a list of everything, and what item do you want me to ship you? And it was like, well, I want you to ship me everything in the picture and everything that was in the description. And then they tried to explain that it was different, and I didn't like that very much, so don't do that. But yeah, so this is kind of the hybrid between the two, where it's very DIY, but it's not as business oriented, as I kind of just said. So yeah, the cool thing is that, as I said, you do ship with Mercari, and they have built-in labels, right, which is great because their built-in labels are really cheap. An item that might usually cost $20 to ship on eBay will cost $10 to $15 there, which is really odd. I'm not sure how they do that, to be honest. I think they're kind of taking a loss on some of the labels, because instead of typing in oh, this is the dimensions of the package and this is how much it weighs, it'll just be is the package under a pound, between 3 pounds and 10 pounds, or over 10 pounds? And those are just 3 different brackets or whatever. And those will just have their own price assigned to them. So a 3-pound package will cost the same as a 10-pound package, which is weird, but I usually am shipping the more 10-pound packages, so I don't really care because it saves me and the buyer money. So that's great. It's easy. They just email you the label, you print it out, and you go ship it. One downside is that you don't get paid until the item actually arrives at the buyer and they rate you, which is annoying. But most of the stuff I sell on there is thrift store crap that's really cheap. I don't really sell a lot of high dollar items. I will here and there, but I prefer to sell those on Reverb or even Facebook Marketplace or something like that. So I tend to lean towards those $15 games. And Mercari is just like, I spend a few minutes every morning getting all that stuff packed up, and maybe whenever I run into it, I only have to spend a few minutes listing it, because just like Facebook, super easy to list on. You just add a couple pictures and a really brief description and a price, and that's literally all you need. So yeah, as I always say, it's go to eBay, definitely check it out. You can cross post on there, because people all the time will just message you and be like, hey, is this available? And you can just say no, it's not, when it's sold. But always make sure you take the listings down as soon as they sell on another website. It's just, that way if it sells while you're asleep or whatever, or you're not by your phone or computer, then it's not an issue, and you can just take it off a couple hours later or whatever. So yeah, that's Mercari. Alright, so we're on to platform number 4, and as I said, this one's like pretty trendy. This is one you might not think to sell on, but I'm sure you all know what it is, and that's Instagram. And this has lately been a great marketplace to sell on, because there's no fees or anything like that. You just sell direct to consumer. You might have to pay PayPal fees. But yeah, so basically you're going to want to build up an account with lots of followers, and then you can post your items on there. Like, make it very specific. If you sell guitars, make an account all about guitars, and just post pictures of your guitars and be like, hey, these are for sale. You can DM us or shoot us an email and we'll work it out. And then you just make them a PayPal invoice and ship it to them, and that's how it'll work there. I know a lot of people that do this with clothing, and it works really well for that, because they might post pictures of them wearing it or their friends wearing it, and they'll make it look like more of a fashion Instagram than a store. But then every post you make, you just be like, oh, well, this is for sale. You can always DM us and you can have this yourself. And people really latch on to that, because then they actually see it in action. Like on a guitar one, you could just play the guitar well, make sure that the sound quality is good and everything, and then make a video, and people will be like, oh, that's sick, it's nice, whatever. And then they can actually buy that from you, and that works out really nicely. Obviously this is pretty time consuming, and it's going to take a while for you to build up that many followers, but once you have them, honestly, stuff sells quick. Sometimes I'll just post pictures of guitars on my personal Instagram, and people will be like, oh, please buy, like, let me buy this. And you don't even have to do any work. I've just sold a guitar on Instagram that I didn't even put it was for sale. Somebody had just like DM me, they're like, hey, is there any way you'd sell this? And it actually ended up being something that was for sale. And I made a deal, and honestly, I think I got a little bit more than market value, because he just made me a great offer on it, and that's pretty frequent. A lot of the people on Instagram aren't like the people on eBay or Amazon or Mercari, where they're gonna nickel and dime you. Like, these people, they don't care. They think it's awesome. They want to buy it, and that's awesome for us, because they'll just buy it, no hassle. I love that. So yeah, that's kind of the way to go about it on Instagram. One thing to keep in mind is, to get those followers up, you need to post multiple times a day. So post twice, and don't post like 2 times within 5 minutes. Like, post, and then maybe 6-7 hours later, post again, and you can even post again, and just kind of make sure you have a couple posts a day. Make sure you hashtag all your pictures, all the stuff like that. There's a lot of information out there on how to actually successfully market your Instagram. I don't have time to talk about all that in this video, so definitely look into that. Maybe I'll do a video on that one day. But yeah, I think that's gonna be about it for this video, actually. So thank you guys for checking it out. I hope this helps everyone's sales. Hope the diversification will always make you more money. There's no way it'll make you less money, so it's definitely worth your time to check it out. And maybe it doesn't work out for you, and that's okay, but it's definitely an experiment worth trying. Anytime your product is available in 4 marketplaces or 5 instead of 1, that gives you a lot better chance of selling it. So yeah, again, thank you guys for coming and checking it out. Hopefully there'll be some more videos soon. You can always send me an email if you have questions. I'm currently still doing the one-on-one sessions if you want to buy a hindrance shirt. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to do those, because it is getting way too time consuming, and I barely have time to keep up with it. But for right now, it's still sustainable, so still doing those. Shoot me an email, and yeah, that's going to be it. I'll see you guys later.